Now the discussion, or you can say the conversation continues, and you are not going to have any more kids, are you? Jerry is asking Peter. No, no more. Why did you say that? How do you know about that? Like Peter is kind of curious about it. Then Jerry says that the way you cross your legs, perhaps, or something in the voice, or maybe just I'm just guessing. Is that your wife? So you can see that both like at times he's astonished about the stranger, I mean Peter. Like Peter feels that he is a person who foresees things, or who can predict on things. That is a feeling that Peter is having at times. That's a feeling that Peter is having. But there are when he asks this question, like, is it your wife? So that's like a question on the conscience, you can say. I mean, America is like very particular about certain things during that particular time. Then when he asks this question, like, is it your wife? Peter is kind of frustrated, or you can say irritated with that. And Peter is saying, that is none of your business. Do you understand? Well, you are right. We'll have no more children. It is true about your prediction on our children, but still, when you ask this question, I feel like you are not that person who actually foresees things. Rather, you are just challenging things, maybe that. What were you saying about the zoo? Peter is asking Jerry. Like, I would read about it or see. So Peter is again anxious, or you can say curious about that statement on the zoo. He feels like it is like a point. It is in fact pointing to something a futuristic or something of that kind, or some mystery is there behind it. So he's after that. Peter is after that. Then Jerry, I'll tell about it soon. And do you mind if I ask you a few questions? Peter says, oh, not really. Then Jerry, I'll tell you why I do it. I don't talk to many people except to say, or keep your hands to yourself, buddy. Just like that. Peter, I must say I don't. Jerry, but even once in a while, I like to talk to somebody, really talk. Like to get to know somebody, know all about him. So here again you can see that Jerry is in fact placing Peter on a particular a position. Say that I don't normally talk to people, but you are like an interesting kind of a person. That is the impression that Peter is getting. Again placing Peter for some purpose or something of that kind. And Peter is like enjoying the kind of special position that is in fact being given to him by Jerry. Then Jerry says, like, no dogs. Oh, that's a shame. But you look like an animal man. Cats. But that can't be your idea. No, sir. Your wife and daughters. Is there anything else should I know? So again, all these things like references to dog, a cat, all these things has got some, significance of its own. Then Peter says there are 2 parakeets. One for each my daughters. So Jerry again says, like, birds. Okay, my daughters keep them in a cage in their bedroom. So it's all these things are like symbolic. Okay, and again, of course, it reflects the class of Peter, class to which actually Peter belongs. And Jerry, and what else? What do you do to support your enormous household? Then Peter says, like, I have an executive position with a small publishing house. Yes, we publish textbooks. Okay, so that is also like a wonderful kind of again stating like where exactly Peter is. He's not just after random publishing and all. And that particular time, we are talking about 1950s. There weren't much publishing houses like what we have today. And publishing textbook is like again it has got a prestige and a privilege in the society. Jerry, that sounds nice, very nice. And what do you make? Peter, well, I make around 18,000 a year, but I don't carry more than $40 at any one time, in case you are a hold up man. Okay, so he feels like if at all this stranger is going to ask him for money, okay, at that time. So that is why he's keeping himself safe there with that conversation. Again, Jerry, where do you live? Oh, look, I am not going to rob you, and I am not going to kidnap your parakeets, your cats, or your daughters. So, say, look at the way he, in fact, placed it. Your parakeets, your cats, or your daughters. Again, that has got its own significance. Then, Peter, I didn't mean to see. It's that you don't really carry on a conversation. You just ask questions, and I am normally reticent. Why do you stand there? Why can't you sit? And let's get into a conversation rather than asking some questions, standing there and asking some questions. Then you can see that Jerry, Peter is again asking about the zoo, and Jerry says, okay, that's zoo. Oh yes, the zoo. I was there before I came here. I told you that. Say, what is the dividing line between the upper middle class and lower upper middle class? Okay. So again, he is like, Jerry, you can say that he is shifting from one topic to another, and it's like he's not clearly in his senses. This is what we are getting from the conversations of both Jerry and of Peter. Jerry is like more into voicing out his frustrations. That is why he keeps on changing from one topic to another. He keeps on shifting from one topic to another. So maybe because the ending of the story. So towards the end, before his death, he wants to tell the society that he's so frustrated with the things that are happening around him. Just before his death. That is why you can see that he's voicing out all his frustrations one by one, but maybe symbolically, or you can say like at times straight on the face.